Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3869. Today's date is February 10, 2027, 2026. It has been almost like a night at 9:18 p.m. Alright, let's just jump into the question. Okay. Alright, the question is, do people instantly know what I am about when they see one video? Oh, okay. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is YouTube realization question. Why am I asking this question to myself? When I ask this question to myself, I would know more about as a content creator. I know more about platform, social media platform, YouTube, Instagram. I know more about my creativity, my execution process, and things like that. These are kind of like some question are kind of like a something matter to me to become a particular person that I want to be in the future. Like if I want to become something, I just want to know more about this particular thing now. These questions are kind of like giving me those realization that am I be that worthy enough to consider myself as a YouTuber or content creator or not. All right. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Right. The question is, do people instantly know what I'm about when they see one video? Okay, so what exactly is this question? Now, is this question is about that ki okay, I'm gonna kind of like give you a couple of example. Okay, yeah, so that you might gonna resonate. Okay, yeah. So whenever you watch any kind of like a video, or whenever you heard someone kind of like drop a video, what would you expect that video is about? Example, let's just say that ki Bhuvan Bham drop new video on YouTube platform. What would I supposed to be expect? I would supposed to be expect that video should supposed to be funny, right? Yeah, because it is funny. Okay, yeah, it always be a funny. Okay, yeah. Basically, is this thing na a social media content creator are create a particular persona or particular image about themselves. Okay, yeah, and they wanted to and these okay. Sorry about this thing. Okay. So basically this thing, every content creator or every influencer create a kind of like a particular image in the online or in digital world. Okay, in social media. And they wanted to stick with that image. Okay, yeah. Like if MKBHD kind of like a make a video, obviously he will gonna make a video about a kind of like a simple tech. Okay, yeah, he will not gonna make a video about comedy skit or cooking video. Might be kind of like a somebody he might gonna collaborate with a cooking thing and probably he will gonna do cook, but he's not his thing. Probably just might be kind of like a surprise he gonna do this thing, but not for. Okay, yeah. So basically, this thing, every content creator we have a particular image, and that image are printed in our head, in our brain. Okay, yeah. So what kind of like some image that you create, or when you kind of like simply upload your piece of content, or when the people who kind of like simply sees your content, what does they feel, what kind of like image they create about you? Okay, yeah. Okay, let me give you my point of perspective. Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, what kind of like a content that I'm creating? I create a content regarding about graphic designing, specifically a poster designing. Okay, yeah. I create such a poster which matter to society, which matter to resonate the things. I don't know how to supposed to explain this. Like today, I kind of like simply create a poster regarding about a kind of like simply woman is actually trapped. Okay, yeah, in some sort of responsibility and things and that. Now that woman should supposed to be kind of like escape from that responsibility. how she should supposed to be, and how do I supposed to be visualize that particular scene. So I imagine that a woman is kind of like a trap in the feast. Okay, yeah. And if the woman is actually trapped in the feast, and women, that particular women are try to escape. So what he does, he just that carving that feast so that she should supposed to be came out from that feast. Okay, yeah. Like that feast is kind of like a made up by entire kind of like a stone and things like that, and she is a kind of like a somebody just carve herself to became that particular person or became a free person and things like that. So this is a kind of like a some visualization idea that came inside of me. I kind of like a draw this thing in rough and kind of like a simply make that particular poster by AI. Okay, okay. Most of people are kind of like a uh, bit more kind of like confusing regarding about how do I supposed to create this kind of like assembly images in AI. Okay, it's like that, na ki like most of people kind of like ask that what kind of like a prompt that you use. Well, it's not a prompt. Okay, yeah. I didn't really put the prompt. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing. I just directly said what I want. Like basically is this thing. There is a kind of like a custom GPT in a chat GPT called prompt enhancer. Okay, yeah, I have this thing. Okay, yeah, it's actually available like a prompt enhancer custom GPT. Search about it, you will gonna find it. Okay, add it in your pin. Okay, and when I click it, and then I instead of typing, I just click on the mic and started saying sub. Okay, yeah, like basically I'm saying this thing. Okay, listen, I wanted to create an image. In the image, there is a woman is actually trapped inside the feast. Okay, yeah, she wanted to be free, but she can't able to do this thing. Okay, yeah, so what she does, she kind of like a take a hammer and kind of like a some nail and doing kind of like a somebody the removing that feast by kind of like a hammering and nail by kind of like a somebody I don't know what exactly is this in process, but she is kind of like a somebody breaking that kind of like a feast by doing this particular process and kind of like a came out from her. Also, I want the entire image in kind of like a Pixar style 3D studio in kind of like a white matte finish. Okay, yeah. Also, I want the entire image in minimalistic. Also, I want entire image in aesthetic. Also, I want the kind of like a little bit debris on the floor when she's kind of like doing that knurling or things like that. And also, I want that little bit kind of like a space leave on the top so that I would kind of like put the caption over there. And yeah, kind of like a create the image for me. This is what I say and kind of hit the enter. And that enhancer kind of like a create a kind of like a prompt for me. I just need to copy that prompt, put it in the ChatGPT. So I put it into the Gemini, and Gemini kind of like a create a very good image. I don't like ChatGPT image generator because I think that my ChatGPT image is not really that good. Okay, yeah, like as compared to Gemini, because Gemini is a kind of like a you can explore so many stuff. Like a Nano Banana is kind of like a really great in the image generation. Okay, yeah. From my point of perspective, so many people are kind of like a thing that there are so many models are kind of like a really good at, but I think that Nano Banana is kind of like a hard enough for me. Okay, yeah. So I use a Nano Banana to kind of like a create the image, and that's it. Okay, yeah. So that's how I kind of like a create the image. Now another thing is that how do I kind of like simply create the piece of content? Like how do I supposed to kind of like simply create the piece of content? Okay, so basically I kind of like tell the process. Okay, yeah. First of all is that I take the photo of myself by doing this pose. Okay, yeah. Why do I kind of like do this pose? Okay, it is very essential that Gemini, when he kind of like generate the particular image, he has to need a reference. Okay, yeah. Like basically is this thing that a reference is really essential thing. Okay, yeah. Like what kind of like a poses that woman should supposed to be do and things and that. So that's why I kind of like take the pose so that Gemini would understand. I also kind of like give the kind of like things that refer the uploaded image. Okay, yeah, for the reference of the kind of like a woman posture and things and that. And Gemini kind of like understand this thing. He understand that okay, this is the boy. Now kind of like make the girl, make the kind of like things, add a fees, something like that. He can do everything. Okay, yeah. So this is what it is. Okay, what if you didn't really put the reference image? well, if I didn't really put the reference image, then Gemini could also make an image too. It's not like that he didn't really make an image, but the result is kind of like a not really good. Okay, yeah, like a probably is this thing. He might kind of like somebody create the image that woman is kind of like somebody not in the fist, kind of like in the hand, or maybe that hand comes out in on her. So there is a kind of like a lot of things. Okay, like Gemini is a kind of like basically what I realize that now AI is a very smart, intelligent kid. Okay, yeah, a kid, like a child. Okay, yeah, like that child, that very intelligent, very intelligent, but he didn't really understand what it actually means. Okay, yeah, and that's why he kind of like makes silly mistake. Okay, yeah, so it's a kind of like a somebody very intelligent kid, and you have to train them. Okay, that's why the prompting, that's why I kind of like have very big prompt regarding of everything. Okay, that's why I use the prompt enhancer to enhance my prompt even more, much more better, and things and that. Okay, now in the I make a content in a short video content. Okay, not long video content. So basically I like a whole scenario is actually recording. Okay, yeah, like I kind of like record the entire screen, that how do I supposed to create the entire image. Okay, by OBS screen recorder. Okay, then I sorry then I kind of like assembly kind of like assembly add clips that how I kind of like create the image and things and that. Now this process, it doesn't really take that much amount of time. Okay, yeah, like probably within 10 seconds, just process done, final image is ready. Okay, yeah, but I wanted to make sure that people should supposed to feel like a 10-second is not had enough. Okay, obviously if I put the 10-second, people just kind of like assembly, okay, yeah, that's it, but still it just people don't click on it. So I kind of like assembly use multiples of kind of like assembly design. Now how I create the multiple design? Okay, those designs I didn't really create those design. Okay, yeah, I kind of like create a custom GPT. Okay, yeah, what does that custom GPT do is that whenever I create the image, okay, yeah, I kind of like put the kind of a caption about the image and things and that. Then I upload that image into my custom GPT named graphic design. Okay, yeah, so what does it do is that I kind of like somebody put the instruction that I will gonna provide the image. You have to understand the image first, understand the image, understand the message of the image and things and that. Okay, yeah, that GPT will understand the entire kind of like a image and things like that. Okay, yeah, after you understand, kind of like tell me what you understand. Okay, yeah, it kind of like tell me that okay, I understand this image is about the kind of like a woman freedom and things and that. Okay, yeah, when I read that particular thing, okay, it is, then I said yes. Okay, why yes and enter. After I yes enter, then what does it do? Whatever the message from the image, it kind of like take that message. Okay, yeah, and kind of like somebody create a kind of like somebody image where kind of like represent same message in different design. Like basically is this thing, it kind of like somebody create image regarding about kind of like a futuristic, a kind of like a futuristic where kind of like somebody the future women kind of like doing hard work and things like that and that. Sometime kind of like somebody reference like a clay art, or sometime kind of like somebody create a kind of like somebody the visual styles and things like that. Okay, regarding about what kind of like a best and things like that. It kind of like generate the kind of like a 8 prompt. Okay, yeah, I copy each prompt, put it into the Gemini, create the image, which is really good. After I create each images, like 8 images, then what I went to the kind of like a Google Flow. Okay, Google AI Flow. It kind of like a create the video. Okay, so Google Flow, what I did is that I want to kind of like, instead of kind of like putting all those kind of like image one by one, it just kind of like feel really boring. Okay, yeah, what if I would kind of like create a seamless transition in between them? And how I will do that? By Google Flow. Okay, video generator. So I put open the Google Flow. Okay, yeah, this is the initial frame, this is the final frame. Put the prompt that create the seamless transition between 2 frames in a 9:16 aspect ratio. Hit the enter. After I hit the enter, it kind of like create a video which kind of like create a very seamless transition between this one frame to another frame, and which is like look really good. Okay, yeah. And this is kind of like assembly. I create a one video and I create each video for each frame. Okay, so that means 8 frames, that means 8 videos, and that 8 video are kind of like assembly put into the timeline. Okay, yeah. And then it felt really good. It felt like that kind of like assembly that people will kind of like connect with the image, understand the image, and because of this video it kind of like people are kind of like also associated with a different graphic style, and they really love it, they really like it. Okay, I don't know they love it or like it, but I love it too. Okay, yeah. Now the question is that does people know that this is a kind of like a my video, or this is a kind of like some things and that. Well, probably is this thing that yeah, probably I am kind of like doing this thing for almost like a 2 year. Okay, yeah. Probably I didn't really have that many subscriber. I have 1,700 subscriber on YouTube platform. Instagram, I have kind of like a 12,000 follower on Instagram platform. Probably not really that much. Okay, yeah. But what could I supposed to do? Important thing is that yeah, I just have to kind of like upload the video. Okay, yeah. I get almost like 1,000 views per kind of like assembly per shot. Okay, and I think that is okay, fine. Okay, I don't really need that much. If it need, like basically I understand this thing that it's a this piece of content is also kind of like meant for kind of like some specific kind of people. It's not for everybody. What do you mean by it's not for everybody? Like basically is this thing na this video are kind of like something meant for people who are associated with the graphic designing, associated with the kind of like some visual storytelling, associated with the poster designing, things like that probably, or maybe kind of like assembly the people who are bitterly matured and things like that. Obviously people who are kind of like want to entertain, they will not gonna watch this particular stuff. Yeah, and that is what kind of like a YouTube does not recommend my piece of content to those people. Okay, yeah. So obviously I'm targeting such a people who are very less. Okay, so obviously I will get very less views and things and that. Then why not you target kind of like a very big amount of people, like a kind of like a create? It's not really that, nah. Okay, yeah. Like then you have to kind of like change your genre from the kind of like some educational to kind of like a being entertainment. And I'm not really funny because I try this thing being entertainment. Okay, I started gaming content creation for like a 4 year ago, and it was kind of like a really fuck. I don't want to do that mistake again. So yeah, is it probably okay? Yeah, is this thing now what kind of like some people will kind of like create the image from my content creation? I think that na ki probably is this thing they might gonna know that like people actually commenting me that ki you are very creative. Okay, yeah, like you are kind of like somebody the content is very creative and things and that. So this kind of like some image it create about them, so which is really good. Yeah, I love this thing. So yeah, so yeah, this is it. Should I end it? All right, so this is it. I should supposed to end here, and thank you.